Your alpha is 0, beta is equal to 90 degrees. Okay, so at this put your alpha is 0, beta is equal to 90 degrees. So now your Ex is, okay, k lambda by d times cos 90 minus cos alpha. So that is 0 minus 1 I cap. So that will give you minus k lambda by d I cap. Your Ey is equal to k lambda by d times 0 plus 1 j cap. It is equal to k lambda by d j cap. Your resultant is, okay, magnitude is root 2 k lambda by d, and somewhere it will be here. Okay, so this is your resultant electric field. Okay, like this you are supposed to calculate your field and potential on equatorial line. Now remember one thing very clearly. What is that is, you remember the general result. Okay, for alpha and beta, for finite wire I want you to remember the general result. Okay, general result, if you remember, sub cases you will be automatically able to do it. Okay, many people will remember sub case and they will forget the main important part, but do not do it. Okay, so remember the main part. Now coming to the potential. So far we have calculated only field because of infinitely long wire. Next we will calculate potential because of infinitely long wire. Okay, next we are going to calculate potential because of infinitely long wire. So what is this potential business? I will tell you. So next is V bar because of long wire, not long wire, wire on finite wire on equatorial line. Okay, we did not yet finish off this equatorial business. We have calculated only the field. Now coming to the potential part. Okay, so there is some slightly tricky business. This is potentials. It's not so easy or it's not tough. It depends upon the limits. So coming to the potential, what is to be done is big challenge here. This angle alpha, this angle is beta. Now I will take a small strip here, dq equal to lambda times dx. This distance is x, this distance is given as d, this angle is theta, this is d theta, this distance is r. Now observe carefully for potentials. Okay, potential is a scalar. So your small potential is given by k times dq by r. Okay, here also your limits will be, okay, your limits are from theta is equal to minus alpha to theta equal to plus beta is your limit ratio. Okay, and your dq is lambda times dx. Your total potential is integral of k times lambda dx by r. Okay, now in terms of angle you can write it, or in terms of x you can write it. Now let us say from here to here the length is given as L1, from here to here the length is L2. Okay, depending upon angles or anything you can do. Let me see what can be done here. So in terms of length or in terms of angle we will do it. So now first thing is tan theta is equal to x by d. From here secant square theta d theta is equal to dx. That is first point. Cos theta is equal to d by r. From here r is equal to d secant theta. Okay, now I will substitute it here. Your potential V is integral of k into lambda into what is your dx? Your dx is d secant square theta d theta. Okay, here d is missing. D secant square theta d theta whole divided by what is r means it is d secant theta. D will cancel off. Secant theta secant square theta will cancel off. So you are going to get k lambda times integral secant theta d theta from theta equal to minus alpha to theta equal to plus beta. Now this is your potential definition. Now from maths, your integral of secant theta definition d theta is equal to whatever, okay, you get it and then substitute into this expression to get the answer. Okay, this is in terms of theta. Okay, or else you can do something else. What is that means? At this point it will become k lambda times, okay, integral of dx by r can be written as under root d square plus x square. Okay, your r from here, okay, your second method is, okay, alternative, okay, you can write it as k into k lambda is constant times dx by r is under root d square plus x square. Now when x is equal to 0, this strip will be in the middle. Okay, when x is equal to 0, this strip comes to the middle. So from x equal to, what are your limits means? From x equal to minus L1 to x equal to plus L1. Now maths integration video, I mean, I don't know whether I have listed it or not, but if it is there, you can do this. Or else you can assume let under root d square plus x square is equal to t square, okay, and then substitute in terms of limits. Sorry, yeah, minus L1 to plus L2, yeah, plus L2. Okay, so assume this under root d square plus x square equal to t square and differentiate it, 2t dt, something like that, you will get it and then you will be able to simplify it. Okay, first copy this result. Second method I will help you out. Okay, copy it fast. Hope you have understood it. Here there is no x component and y component because potential is a scalar quantity. Okay, that x and y components will be there only for vectors. Okay, for scalars no such thing. Okay, whatever is there as such you have to substitute it. Hope you have copied it, copy it fast, so I will erase it. So my point is, in the second method, what is that you can do is, okay, if you assume d square plus x square is equal to t square, now from here 2x dx is equal to 2t dt, from here dx can be replaced with, no, it's not coming in an easy manner, but you substitute that match formula. Okay, so I don't remember it as of now. You just refer to your maths textbooks and then look at the formula. 1 by under root a square plus x square formula will be there. Okay, what is that you will use? I think you are going to use some method of partial fractions or something like that and you will be doing it. So refer to your maths textbook and substitute in the limits. Okay, next you can either do it in terms of cos theta or you can do it this way. Now coming to the next part, okay, now fill it in the table, okay. After you have finished this, now we have seen because of equatorial line, we have seen because of axial line, now you fill it in the table. Okay, next coming to your third case is case 3. Your field and potential because of an arc of charge like this. So this is your arc of charge. this side the angle is alpha, this side the angle is beta, this is your y-axis, this is your O, at center you are calculating, and this is your charged configuration. Now the point in doing general results like this is, if you can give the answers for general figures like this, then automatically for sub cases if you just change the angles you will get the answers. So for this figure, okay, your lambda is given by, okay, what is your lambda means, assume it is uniform charge. Case 3 is E comma V for arc of charge. Okay, your lambda is total charge by total length, that is equal to Q by R times alpha in radians plus beta in radians. Okay, your arc length is given by, okay, in maths you must have studied in circles, this angle if it is theta, your length of arc is L is equal to R times theta in radians. What is your theta in radians means, theta in radians is theta in degrees by 180 degrees into pi. Okay, substitute it, full circle 360 degrees 2 pi, so you will get 2 pi r. Okay, so in maths that is what you are going to use. In physics always our angles will be in terms of radians, so that is why I have written it in terms of radians. Now coming to this figure, okay, coming to this figure, what is that I am going to do is, I am going to take a small strip here. Okay, so here I am going to take a small strip, this angle it is theta, this is d theta. Okay, so your small charge dq is lambda times small length, that is equal to lambda times r d theta. Okay, this I have explained in my integration video. Okay, your small arc length is given by r times small angle d theta. Now coming to your limits, okay, your limits are from, okay, your limits are from theta equal to minus alpha to theta equal to plus beta. Okay, your limits are like this, from minus alpha to plus beta. Okay, now first thing, okay, I need space, because even here your this thing is a vector. So now if this angle is theta, your small electric field is E equal to k times dq by radius r square, because all these strips are at a distance of radius r and this angle is theta. Now here your Ex is integral of dE, okay, sin theta, same as previous part. Okay, we have got dE sin theta, but the thing is here it is towards left. Okay, your Ex is towards left, it is in third quadrant. Okay, so direction is towards left. In the end I will write plus I cap, how I will tell you. So dE is k times dq by capital R square times integral sin theta, but what is dq means lambda r d theta. So your Ex is integral of k times dq is lambda r d theta into sin theta by r square. Okay, where your limits are such that from theta equal to minus alpha to theta equal to plus beta, and here the direction is towards left. So r will go off, so you are going to get k lambda by r times integral sin theta d theta from minus alpha to plus beta, from towards direction is towards left. So that will give you k lambda by r times integral of sin theta is minus cos theta. Okay, so from minus alpha to plus beta, direction is towards left, so that will give you k lambda by r times, okay, minus cos beta, so that will give you cos alpha minus cos beta towards left. If you simplify it further, you are going to get k lambda by r times cos beta minus cos alpha I cap. Okay, right? So don't get confused at that part. Okay, so it's not going to be tough. So k lambda by r times cos beta minus cos alpha. Now similarly do Ey. Okay, this is towards right. Okay, according to my. Alright, so we have stopped at calculation of field along x-axis for this arc of charge. So I have taken this side angle to be alpha, this side angle to be beta, and we have got Ex is equal to k lambda by r times cos beta minus cos alpha I cap. Now coming to your y-axis, okay, what exactly happens here is we will do the same. So here your dq is lambda times r d theta. Okay, this angle is theta, this angle is your d theta. Now exactly at the axis, okay, we have your small field dE, and if this angle is theta, this angle is theta. So your small electric field along y direction is d cos theta, okay, because this is your y component, that too along minus j cap direction. So that will give you k times small charge dq by r times cos theta minus j cap. So this is your dy. So your ey is, it is integral of k times dq is lambda r d theta by r, okay, k dq by r square, sorry, okay, your small electric field is k times dq by r square. So this much r square into cos theta. So you are going to get as this much, r will go off. You will get k lambda by r times integral cos theta d theta from theta equal to minus alpha to theta equal to plus beta. So that will give you your Ey is equal to k lambda by r times integral of cos theta is sin theta from theta equal to minus alpha to theta equal to plus beta. So that will give you k lambda by r times sin beta minus sin of minus alpha. So that will give you k lambda by r times sin alpha plus sin beta is your field along y direction. So this is your field along y, and we have got field along x direction. Now based on this we are going to see some sub cases. So what is that? I'll write it. Okay, in the meantime just copy the result. So pause the video clip and then copy the result. If you have missed something, go back and then write the notes. Now, so your conclusion of the whole story is, if you have the arc like this, for this arc, what exactly happens here is, this angle is alpha, this angle is beta. Now your resultant field direction is Ex is equal to k lambda by r times cos beta minus cos alpha times I cap. Your Ey is k lambda by r times sin alpha plus sin beta into minus j cap. Okay, so now you have got Ex and Ey. Your E resultant is under root Ex square plus Ey square. Your tan alpha is equal to Ey by Ex. Okay, So this is your resultant field. And coming to your lambda value is total charge by r times alpha in radians plus beta in radians. Okay, right? Now coming to the subcases part. Okay, your first subcase 1 is, let us say you have a semicircular ring. Now if you have a semicircular ring, for this semicircular ring, if you are trying to calculate the field, now what is your field here is, okay, for semicircular ring, this side angle is alpha, this side angle is beta. Now all this is completely positive charge. So your lambda is equal to total charge by, so r times you have got your alpha in radians plus beta in radians. So in this case your alpha and beta are equal to 90 degrees, pi by 2. So because of which your Ex value is cos 90 minus cos 90, it is 0. Your Ey value is k lambda by r times sin pi by 2 plus sin pi by 2. Sin 90 plus sin 90 is equal to 1. So that will give you Ey is equal to k lambda by r. That is because of a semicircular ring. Now your next subcase is, let us say you have shifted like this. Now in such a case you can make your alpha is equal to 0 degrees and beta equal to pi. Calculate what is Ex, calculate what is Ey. You change the angles here, you will get the answers for remaining cases. So this is coming to your field. So this is how you calculate your field because of arc of charge. Now what is that I am going to do is, I am going to calculate, okay, because we know the field, next we will try to calculate the potential. Now potential calculation is very easy, it's not tough at all because your potential is a scalar quantity. So for ring, what is your potential if you ask me? So it will be very simple. What is it? I will tell you. So now here for this arc, I am trying to calculate your potential. Okay. So now if I try to calculate potential here, your potential is a scalar quantity. So now even though you take a strip here, okay, if this angle is theta, this angle is d theta, okay. So your small charge dq is lambda times r into d theta. Your small arc length is r d theta. Now this angle it is alpha, this angle it is beta. Now at this point P, your small potential is k times dq into, this small potential is at a distance of r, so it is k times dq by r. Your total potential is integral of dv, it is integral of k times dq by r, k by r times integral dq, that is equal to k times total charge by r. This is what you have. Now here what is the total charge means, your lambda is equal to total charge by r times alpha in radians plus beta in radians. Now from this expression it is very clear, all the charges are at same distance. So because of each small charge, your potential is k into dq by r. So this is how you calculate the potentials. So it doesn't matter what shape it is having. If it is a positive charge, you will write just simply k times total charge by r. If it is a negative charge, it is k times minus q by r is what you are going to write for the potentials. Now coming to the next part, okay, in the next part what is that you have is your electric field and potential on axis of a ring of charge. So on axis of ring of charge, I am trying to calculate the potentials. So now here what happens is, this is your ring of charge, okay, right? Now from here to here this distance is x, from here this distance is r. Now observe carefully, if you take a small strip here dq, now at this point P, okay, for all the strips your small r is equal to under root capital R square by x square. for all these strips, because when you are taking this ring like this, for this ring what happens is this point, okay, if I mark different points A, B, C, D, E, F like this, G, H, all these points are on the surface of cone in the border. So all the points will be at a distance of slant height. If this is R and if this is H, your slant height is under root R square plus H square. Now only difference is instead of slant I mean height, you have X. So it will form a conical region like this. So in this case your small potential is, okay, sorry, small field is, if you define your axis here in this manner, okay, your small field D is equal to K times dq by R square. Now here it is constant. Now if you look at this angle theta here, this angle also will be theta. Now remember, okay, you should not consider this in the calculation, but if you look at another dq element here, because of this dq element also there will be some small field here making some angle. If this is theta, this is theta. So that means what is happening here is the vertical components of this topmost element and bottommost element will cancel off. When you have two vectors like this onto the top, making an angle some alpha and alpha here, and if both are equal magnitudes, then what happens is E cos alpha component here, E cos alpha component here will cancel off. Only horizontal components will remain. So according to that logic that I have here, okay, what happens is your small field DE is, okay, dx is equal to K times dq by R square into cos theta, okay, R square into cos theta. Vertical components will cancel off. So what happens here is, okay, your dx is equal to K times your small charge is dq whole divided by, okay, what is R square means it is R square plus X square times what is cos theta means your cos theta is adjacent side, so x by it is under root small r square plus x square. Now if you simplify this to get E, you are going to get kx by r square plus x square whole power 3 by 2 times, okay, integral dq, because k is constant, x is constant, for all the elements this r square plus x square is constant. So you are going to get your Ex is equal to kqx by r square plus x square whole power 3 by 2. So this is what you are going to get for field. Now what is your where at which point maximum field occurs means, okay, when maximum field occurs, okay, when maximum field occurs, what happens is your d by dx is equal to 0. You substitute it, get the value of x, okay. Try it, I need space to do the calculation, okay. Now coming to potential part, okay, potential is easy, but first we will calculate the condition for maximum field. So I want you everyone to copy it, pause the video clip and then copy it. So coming to this part, so now we have calculated the field. So we have got an expression of your electric field is equal to E is equal to K into Q into X by R square plus X square whole power 3 by 2. Okay. Now when maximum field occurs, okay, when maximum field occurs, what happens is your d by dx is equal to 0. That implies this part I will assume it as u, this part I will assume it as v. So derivative of u by v rule is v times du by dx. So that will give you r square plus x square whole power 3 by 2 times derivative of x is 1 minus I am taking only this part, remaining part is anyhow constant, in the end you can multiply it. So r square minus x times 3 by 2 times r square plus x square whole power 3 by 2 minus 1 is 1 by 2 times 2x, okay, whole divided by r square plus x square whole power 3 by 2 whole square, this will be equal to 0, okay. So under root r square plus x square will cancel off. So you are going to get it as under root r square plus x square times r square plus x square, because a power 3 by 2 can be written as a root a. So minus 2 will go off. So you are going to get x square, 3x square times under root r square plus x square is equal to 0. Under root r square plus x square will cancel off. So you are going to get r square plus x square minus 3x square is equal to 0. R square is equal to 2x square. So you are going to get as x equal to r by root 2. Now when maximum occurs, okay, how much means your E max is equal to k into q into r by root 2 whole divided by r square plus r by root 2 whole square whole power 3 by 2. So this is how you calculate your maximum electric field because of ring, okay, on the axis. Now once this is known, potential part is easy, it's not going to be tough at all. Now coming to the potential part, okay, how you can calculate the potential is, okay, copy this down as well, okay, pause the video clip and then simplify, copy it, okay. Next, if you are trying to calculate the potential, your potential is, okay, so here you have a dq element, your charge is on the axis, so your charge is lambda times total length 2 pi r, okay. Now on the axis your potential is scalar, so from here to here if the distance is r, your r is under root r square plus x square. For all the elemental dq's it is constant, so your small potential dv is k times dq by r. Your total potential is integral of k into dq by r. Now for all these elements k is constant, r is constant, so you will get k by r times integral dq, that is equal to k cube by small r is under root r square plus x square. This is your potential, okay. So like this you can calculate the potential at different points. So now here, okay, at center x is equal to 0. So your potential is going to be, potential at center is k times q by under root r square plus 0 square, that is going to give you k q by capital R, okay. So this is how you are going to get your potential, okay, right. So now this is how you are going to calculate your fields and potentials. Now your next thing is, okay, you have a ring, from here to here this distance is x, assuming x is very much less than r, I am releasing a particle of mass m, charge charge minus q. Let us say radius of this ring is r. Your first question is find time period of SHM. Your second question is if particle is released from rest, okay, this is released from rest. What is your question is find velocity on reaching the center. Find velocity on reaching center. So this is your next question. Now how will you solve this question is, okay, if you are releasing this particle, first of all, okay, now on this particle there will be a force of q into E towards left, okay, why? Because your field direction is towards right, on negatively charged particle your force is towards left, that is equal to q times, what is E means k into q into x by r square plus x square whole power 3 by 2. Now in the question it is given that x is very much less than r, so your MA is equal to k into capital Q into small q into x by r square plus x square can be replaced by, this term is negligible because it is very small, so this will become r square whole power 3 by 2. So from here your MA is equal to k into capital Q into small q by r square into x. From here it is A equal to k into capital Q into q by mr square into x. So from here this is equal to omega square. From here your time period is 2 pi by omega. Now coming to the SHM part, why will it execute SHM means, because this is negatively charged particle there will be attraction. So it will have some force acting towards left till here. Now the moment it crosses this center and goes, now force starts acting this way, velocity will be this way. So that means it slows down. As a result, your particle will keep oscillating to and fro like this. This is going to be your mean position. This is going to be your extreme position. This is going to be your extreme position. Like this, your particle will keep oscillating to and fro like this. Okay. Now copy this part as well, and now we are going to calculate your velocity on reaching the center. Now coming to velocity reaching the center. Okay. First part of the question I have done the calculation. Coming to the second part. Okay. Now your electric force is conservative force. So you can apply sum of potential energy initial plus kinetic energy initial is equal to potential energy final plus kinetic energy final. Now your potential energy initial is charge times initial potential energy plus kinetic energy initial is half m into 0 square, that is equal to your final potential energy is charge times potential at final point plus your final kinetic energy is half m v center square. Now what is the potential initially means it is q times minus k into capital Q. Okay, minus q charge is what you have here. So minus q times kq by, at this point your potential is under root r square plus x square plus 0 is equal to minus q times potential at center is, it is kq by r plus half m velocity of center square. From here calculate your velocity of center, that is going to give you your final answer. Okay, now this is your end of linear charge distributions. Okay, I have paced up little fast this part because problems we are going to see separately. Okay, but to give basic ideas of questions I have explained this here.